market divergence. The smart money is officially fractured. The freshly released Q1 2026 13 net filings, tracking exactly what the world's most elite hedge funds bought and sold during the volatile first quarter of 2026, just revealed the biggest ideological split Wall Street has seen in a decade. While one legendary billionaire completely liquidated a massive position in a magnificent 7-tech giant, a newly crowned successor tripled down on that exact same stock, buying $16 billion worth of it. This isn't just a routine portfolio rebalance, this is an active counter-trading war among the financial elite. In this video, we are breaking down all 12 institutional gurus, comparing their Q1 2026 moves directly to Q4 2025, tracking the massive 2026 great exit, decoding the unique alpha plays, and uncovering the exact centeredness score that reveals where the highest concentration of overlapping capital is hiding right now. If you want to invest where the smart money is moving next, stay tuned. 1. The heavyweight lineup, all 12 gurus. Let's look at the raw data. We track all 12 heavyweights to map out their top 5 holdings as of March 31st, 2026, alongside their trailing 12-month total returns. 1. Berkshire Hathaway, Greg Abel. The transition. This is the historic first filing under new CEO Greg Abel, who took the helm on January 1st, 2026. Abel immediately implemented a sweeping, aggressive portfolio pruning while maintaining core compounders. AUM, $263.1 billion. 12-month total return, 18%. Top 5 holdings. Apple, AAPL 21.99%. American Express, AXP 17.43%. Coca-Cola, KO 11.56%. Bank of America, BAC 9.52%. Chevron, CVX 6.64%. 2. Pershing Square, Bill Ackman. The transition. Absolute concentration into platform giants. Shifting scaling core corporate engines while dropping search giant exposure. AUM, $13.71 billion. 12-month total return, 26%. Top 5 holdings. Brookfield Core, BN 17.62%. Amazon, AMZN 17.39%. Uber Technologies, UBER 15.71%. Microsoft, MSFT 15.26%. Restaurant Brands International, QSR 12.20%. 3. Duquesne Family Office, Stanley Druckenmiller. The transition. Aggressively rotating out of traditional hardware peaks and hyper-concentrating alpha into specialized medical diagnostics and global macro recovery proxies. AUM, $3.38 billion. 12-month total return, 43%. Top 5 holdings. Natera Incorporated, NTRA 18.14%. Smith Incorporated, INSM 5.59%. Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM 4.96%. iShares MSCI Brazil Call, EWZ 4.81%. Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Call, RSP 4.67%. 4. Appaloosa Management, David Tepper. The transition. Heavily loading the boat on primary infrastructure layers, turning into a massive Amazon bull while selectively locking in chip gains. AUM, $5.93 billion. 12-month total return, 31%. Top 5 holdings. Amazon, AMZN 15.16%. Micron Technology, MU 9.48%. Alphabet Class C, GOOG 8.38%. Uber Technologies, UBR 7.68%. Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM 7.56%. 5. Bridgewater Associates, Ray Dalio. The transition. Using macro index proxies to capture systemic beta while selectively accumulating computing core infrastructure. AUM, $124 billion. 12-month total return, 14%. Top 5 holdings. SPDR S&P 500 ETF, SVY 12.67%. iShares Core S&P 500, IVD 7.81%. Amazon, AMZN 4.08%. Nvidia 3.65%. Broadcom, AVGO 2.54%. 6. 0.72 Asset Management, Steve Cohen. The transition. Aggressively day trading and scaling up structural long allocations on semiconductor manufacturing loops. AUM, $62 billion. 12-month total return, 19%. Top 5 holdings. Nvidia 3.0%. TSMC, TSM 2.8%. Amazon, AMZN 1.8%. Arista Networks, ANET 1.6%. Broadcom, AVGO 1.5%. 7. Kochu Management, Philippe Lafone. The transition. Aggressively rotating out of legacy software architectures to establish concentrated positions in hyperscale compute providers and next-gen AI implementation loops. AUM, $24.8 billion. 12-month total return, 29%. Top 5 holdings. NVIDIA 11.4%. Meta Platforms, MEDA 9.8%. Microsoft, MSFT 8.5%. Amazon, AMZN 7.9%. Advanced Micro Devices, AMD 6.2%. 8. Tiger Global Management, Chase Coleman. The transition. Foregoing mid-cap growth experiments to back multi-billion-dollar enterprise platforms establishing absolute cloud infrastructure control. AUM, $11.2 billion. 12-month total return, 33%. Top 5 holdings. Meta Platforms, MEDA 16.4%. Microsoft, MSFT 14.1%. Alphabet Class A, Google 11.8%. Apollo Global, APO 8.2%. NVIDIA 7.9%. 9. Third point, Dan Loeb. The transition. Corporate event-driven focus paired with intensive structural value setups in global energy and legacy hardware revamps. AUM, $6.1 billion. 12-month total return, 21%. Top 5 holdings. PG&E Core, PCG 12.3%. Amazon, AMZN 10.9%. Microsoft, MSFT 9.4%. Danaher Core, DHR 7.8%. Intercontinental Exchange, ICE 6.5%. 10. ARK Invest, Kathy Wood. The transition. De-risking out of mega cap standard tech and doubling down on multiomics and private pre-IPO digital asset equity. AUM, $11.7 billion. 12-month total return, 49%. Top 5 holdings. Tesla, TSLA 11.2%. Coinbase, COIN 9.4%. Roku, RKU 7.1%. Block, Square 6.8%. Roblox, RBLX 5.5%. 11. Bob Host Group, Seth Klarman. The transition, moving methodically into deeply unloved out-of-favor global logistics and complex healthcare structures. AUM, $5.28 billion. 12-month total return, 15%. Top 5 holdings. Restaurant Brands International, QSR 10.4%. Amazon, AMZN 9.3%. Willis Towers Watson, WTW 8.5%. Elevance Health, ELV 8.4%. Union Pacific, UNP 7.1%. 12. Trine Partners, Nelson Peltz. The transition, pure play operational activist restructuring focusing on corporate spin-offs. AUM, $3.98 billion. 12-month total return, 26.8%. Top 5 holdings. Janus Henderson Group, JHG 38.1%. General Electric, GE 31.2%. Solvendum, SOLV 16.4%. Wendy's Co., WN 6.4%. Ferguson PLC, FERG 6.1%. 2. The crowded trades of 2026 versus Q4 2025. Now let's look at how this compares directly to the filings we saw back in February for the Q4 2025 period. In Q4, the crowd was completely unified on the Alphabet, Google, and Micron Technology, MU, memory cycle trades. But Q1 2026 shattered that consensus. Alphabet has officially transformed from a safe haven crowded trade into a divisive battleground. Bill Ackman completely severed his relationship with Google, slashing his position by over 95%, dropping it down to a tiny 344,000 share remnant. Why? Ackman is placing his bets on Microsoft as the dominant enterprise AI winner. But look at the counter trade. Greg Abel, in his first major move running Berkshire Hathaway, did the exact opposite. He didn't just add to Alphabet, he added 36.4 million shares of Class A stock, lifting the total position value to an astounding $15.6 billion. Abel is betting that the market has wildly overpenalized Google's core cash-generating moat. Meanwhile, Amazon, AMZN, saw a similar tug of war. Berkshire fully liquidated its remaining $500 million stake, while Ackman and David Tepper aggressively bought the dips, treating it as the foundational computing infrastructure layer of the cycle. 3. The Great Exit of 2026. We have to talk about the Great Exit of 2026. In Q4 2025, Warren Buffett began a quiet retirement pruning by cutting Apple. In Q1 2026, Greg Abel took that cash hoarding playbook and accelerated it to a breakneck pace. Berkshire Hathaway fully liquidated 16 entire stock positions this quarter. The biggest casualties of the Great Exit? Global credit networks. Berkshire completely wiped out its multi-billion-dollar positions in Visa, V, and MasterCard, MA. They completely exited healthcare titan United Health Group, UNH, flipped out of Domino's Pizza, DBZ, just quarters after building the stake, and walked away from Amazon, Aon, and Pool Corporation. This tells us that institutional giants aren't just adjusting weights anymore. They are running ultra-lean, highly concentrated portfolios, hoarding cash, and clear-cutting peripheral positions to prepare for macroeconomic volatility. 4. Unique Euro Alpha moves. If you want real alpha, you look where the herd isn't running. Let's look at the most unique, contrarian moves of the quarter. First, the absolute shockwave of the season. Leopold Aschenbrenner's fund, Situational Awareness LP. They executed a total architectural shift. They completely closed out their legendary, hyper-bullish Intel call options position that dominated retail chatter last quarter. What did they replace it with? A massive, contrarian $8.46 million short bet using put options against Nvidia, Broadcom, Oracle, and the entire VanEck Semiconductor ETF, SMH. While the world chases the hardware peak, Aschenbrenner is using massive options leverage to short the chip sector, while simultaneously going long on raw crypto mining infrastructure like ERN, Core Scientific, and Applied Digital to capture energy grid power plays. Second, look at Loeb over at Third Point. While the rest of the street is chasing pure digital software, Loeb made PG&E Core his absolute number one, holding at over 12% of the fund. It's a massive, targeted bet on regular utility infrastructure. Why? Because the massive computational load required by AI data centers means whoever controls the physical energy grids controls the entire life cycle of the expansion. 5. Most overlap, the centeredness score. So, if we aggregate all 12 gurus, what is the ultimate centeredness score, the measurement of where the highest concentration of elite capital overlaps right now? Despite the bitter fighting over Google and Amazon, Nvidia, NVDA, and core index tracking beta proxies remain the structural anchors holding the institutional world together. Nvidia shows up in the top tiers of GoTo, Tiger Global, Point72, and Bridgewater. However, the true momentum-driven overlap has officially transitioned away from standard software providers and settled into energy, grid power, and data center cooling systems. Elite capital is realizing that no matter who wins the AI software race, the physical infrastructure that feeds the data centers is the most inelastic, guaranteed trade on the board. Call to action. To summarize, the Q1 2026 13F filings show an end to the era of consensus. The smart money has split. Greg Abel is aggressively streamlining Berkshire by liquidating financial networks. Bill Ackman is dumping Google for Microsoft, and contrarian wolves like Leopold Aschenbrenner are buying massive downside protection against the very semiconductor chip boom that fueled the rally. The critical takeaway from the Q1 2026 13F filings is that the era of consensus investing is over. You cannot simply look at what the top funds own and buy it blindly anymore because the smartest minds on Wall Street are aggressively trading against each other. Understanding these macro shifts is the ultimate key to surviving the 2026 market volatility. If you don't know who is selling what you are buying, you are the liquidity in someone else's exit strategy. Which side of the great Google and Amazon divide do you land on? Are you trailing Abel's value play or Ackman's enterprise AI bet? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive portfolio breakdown. We'll track these positions closely as the macroeconomic landscape evolves. Farewell.